Dibia, the oracle has spoken through you, and my soul has heard. I came here looking for a witch to blame, but I have found the map to my own healing. I will throw away the sugar, the beer, and the bad habits of the hand. I will sweat, I will eat the food of my ancestors, and I will claim my throne back in my wife's bed. I am ready for your herbs now. Dibia, you mentioned that the testicles use cholesterol as the raw material to forge this masculine fire, this testosterone. But in the city, the doctors scream from the radio that cholesterol is a killer. They say it blocks the heart and kills a man. How can a killer be the secret to my strength? Please unravel this mystery for me. How do testosterone, cholesterol, and the flow of blood work together down there?
Chidi, the world is full of half-truths. Listen well. Cholesterol is not a single demon. It travels in two different spirits inside your blood. The white men call them HDL and LDL, but let us call them the builder and the clutterer. The builder is the good cholesterol. It is like a diligent sweeper in the market. It moves through your blood vessels, picks up excess grease, and takes it to the liver to be washed away. More importantly, this builder cholesterol is the exact clay the testicles use to mold testosterone. Without it, your masculine factory has no raw materials.
Ah, so the builder is the friend of the commander. What about the other one, the clutterer?
The clutterer is the bad cholesterol. It is lazy and heavy. When you have too much of it from eating bad foods, it drops out of the blood and sticks to the inner walls of your pipes. It builds up like hardened mud inside a water channel. Now, think about how a man stands tall. When desire sparks in your mind, the brain sends a lightning signal down the spine. The blood vessels leading to your manhood must instantly open wide like a gateway, and a heavy rush of blood must flood into the spongy tissues down there to inflate them.
And if the pipes are full of that hardened mud, the bad cholesterol, the flood cannot pass?
Exactly. The pipes that feed your manhood are tiny, much smaller than the pipes that feed your heart. If the mud of bad cholesterol begins to settle in your body, your manhood is the very first place to lose its water supply. You will wish to stand, your mind will beg, but the riverbed remains dry. This is why a weak erection is often just a warning sign that your pipes are clogging up throughout your entire body.
Whoa, Dibia, this is a matter of life and death. Tell me, what foods bring this lazy clutterer into my body, and what foods bring the builder? How did I invite this mud into my system?
The clutterer, the bad cholesterol, enters when you eat foods cooked in chemically altered oils, the cheap vegetable oils refined in factories, margarine, fried street meats, and packaged snacks that can sit on a shelf for months without rotting. When you eat these, you are pouring liquid mud into your rivers. But the builder, the good cholesterol, is encouraged by natural fats. It loves cold-pressed coconut oil, palm kernel oil extracted traditionally, fresh fish from the river filled with natural oils, avocado, and local eggs. These foods give the body the clean tools it needs to sweep the pipes and feed the commander.
I hear you, Dibia. I will banish the factory oils today. But tell me, for the mud that is already stuck inside my pipes, the bad cholesterol already holding me hostage, how do I get rid of it? How do I flush my rivers clean so the blood can flow violently again?
To clear the mud, you must wage a war of cleansing. First, you must drink the bitter juices of the earth. Bitter leaf, olugbu, garlic, ginger, and scent leaf. These are the natural scrubbers. They melt the hardened fat from the walls of your pipes. Second, you must use fire to burn the fat. You must make your body sweat heavily through hard labor or running every single day. When you sweat and your heart beats fast, the blood rushes through the pipes like a high-pressure tide, breaking apart the mud of the clutterer and flushing it away. Combine this with fasting, allowing your body to go hungry for hours so it is forced to eat its own stored fat for survival, and your rivers will run pure once more.
Dibia, my tongue can already taste the bitterness of the cure, but my heart is glad because my eyes are finally open. Please let us list these warriors of the earth completely. Apart from bitter leaf and garlic, what other foods and herbs did our ancestors use to scrub the inner walls of a man's pipes? Let me know them by name so I can hunt for them in the city markets.
It is good that you are ready to face the bitterness, for bitterness is the lock that opens the door to sweetness. To thoroughly scrub your vessels, you must call upon the great cleaners of the bush. First is utazi and nchanwu, scent leaf. These leaves contain juices that stimulate the liver to produce more bile, and bile is the soap the body uses to dissolve bad cholesterol. You must also boil the roots of the uda, Negro pepper, and uziza seeds into a hot, spicy broth. These seeds act like fire inside the blood. They expand the vessels and melt the heavy grease, holding your manhood captive.
Uda, uziza, utazi, the spicy and the bitter ones. What about the things we eat as food, Dibia? Are there everyday meals that act as broomsticks for the blood?
Yes, you need rough foods, foods with fiber. Fiber is the broom that sweeps the gut so that excess fat cannot even find its way into your blood in the first place. Instead of your refined white flour and white rice, you must eat unripe plantain, boiled or pounded. Unripe plantain is a silent healer. It is low in sugar, high in iron, and full of fiber that clears the blood. Eat garden eggs, anara, daily. Their bitter skin absorbs bad fat from your stomach and throws it out through your waist. And do not forget okra. The slippery juice of okra binds to the bad cholesterol in your belly and drags it out of your body before it can choke your pipes.
Ah, these are foods I know well. Unripe plantain, garden eggs, okra soup. I have ignored them for too long in the city. But Dibia, let us look at the enemy camp once more. You spoke of factory oils and processed sugars. Let us break down the foods that actively create and build this lazy clutterer, this bad cholesterol. What are the specific traps in the city diet that I must completely cross my fingers against?
The traps are sweet, and that is why they are deadly. The number one creator of the clutterer is trans fat, the oil that has been boiled and reused 20 times by the roadside vendors to fry yam, akara, and puff-puff. Every time oil is heated to the point of smoking and reused, it turns into a plastic-like grease. When you eat those oily, golden-fried snacks from the street, you are swallowing pure blockage. The body does not recognize this artificial oil, so it parks it directly inside your blood vessels.
God forbid. The roadside fried yam and akara is my standard breakfast on my way to the office.
You see, you have been feeding the executioner yourself. Another great creator of bad cholesterol is processed meats. The hot dogs, the sausages, and the canned meats packed with chemicals and bad fats to keep them from rotting. Add to that the mountain of white bread and pastries made from stripped flour. Because these foods lack fiber, they instantly turn into sugar in your blood, forcing the liver to manufacture heavy loads of the clutterer cholesterol to store the excess energy. You must run from anything that comes out of a sealed plastic factory bag and return to the food that comes directly out of the soil of Ani, the Earth Mother.
Dibia, you have shown me the pipes and the blood, but what about the spark itself? Sometimes, even before the physical failure happens, the desire is simply not there. My mind is cold. I look at my beautiful wife, and it is as if I am looking at a piece of wood. The city people call this driving force the libido. Please, what handles this desire in a man? And I also hear them mention a spirit or chemical called oxytocin. They say it is the fluid of bonding and love. How do these two work together to bring back a man's roaring fire?
Ah, Chidi, now you are entering the inner chamber of the spirit. The libido is the uch agwu, the mental appetite for intimacy. Testosterone is the fuel in the engine, but libido is the hand that turns the key. A man can have blood in his veins, But if his libido is dead, the key will never turn.
What kills this desire?
The greatest executioner is chronic mental fatigue and resentment. If there is unspoken bitterness between you and your wife, unresolved arguments, or the silent war of cold shoulders, your spirit shuts the door. The mind cannot separate the anger in the house from the action in the bed.
You have touched a deep wound, Dibia. Since this trouble began, my wife has been casting bitter words at me, and I have been carrying anger against her in my heart. Every time I approach the bed, I feel like I am walking into a courtroom, not a place of joy.
And that is exactly where the second spirit, oxytocin, comes into play. The modern world calls it a hormone, but we know it as the ezinwane, the medicine of trust and bonding. Oxytocin is created in the brain when there is skin-to-skin contact, gentle holding, and peaceful eye contact. It is the chemical of safety. When a man and his woman are touching affectionately without the pressure to perform, oxytocin floods the body. It lowers the stress poison, cortisol, instantly. It tells the nervous system, you are safe, you are loved. And when safety enters, the libido wakes up from its slumber.
So oxytocin is the medicine of touch? We have stopped touching completely, Dibia. We sleep on opposite sides of the bed like strangers. But tell me, what else boosts this libido physically? Are there foods or habits that wake up this mental appetite?
To boost the libido, you must feed the brain what it needs to feel joy. Our ancestors used wild raw honey. It is rich in a mineral called boron, which wakes up both testosterone and estrogen. You also need natural dark cocoa or chocolate. It contains elements that release the joy chemicals in the brain, making you feel relaxed and eager. Eat bananas and hot chili peppers. The pepper fires up the nervous system and mimics the rush of excitement, while the banana contains enzymes that boost energy and desire. But above all, the greatest booster of libido is open communication and non-sexual touching with your wife. Go home, hold her hand, massage her tired feet after a long day, and let oxytocin clear the courtroom before you ever think of entering the bedroom.
Dibia, I came here looking for an enemy outside, but you have given me the mirror to fix the man within. I see the full picture now. My blood, my vessels, my hormones, my mind, and my marriage. They are all one single fabric. I will take your bitter leaves to clean my pipes. I will eat the fruits of the earth to feed my commander, and I will go home to hold my wife with love and patience to breathe this oxytocin. The stepmother has no power over a man who rules his own life. Dibia, you have healed my mind and my strength, but there is one final piece of this heavy load I must lay before you. Even when the water manages to flow, we have been trying for a child for 2 years with no success. My wife's family is whispering. I heard the city doctors use a term, sperm motility. They say it means the ability of a man's seeds to swim strongly to meet the woman's egg. If the seeds are lazy or swimming in circles, a child cannot come. Please, what causes this laziness in a man's seed, and how do we remedy it?
Ah, Chidi, you are now looking at the fruit of the tree, not just the trunk. Sperm motility is indeed the swimming power of your warriors. For a man to father a child, his seeds must not just be many. They must be like hungry fish, swimming upstream against a heavy current. If they are sluggish, malformed, or dead on arrival, the womb remains empty.
What causes this laziness?
The first enemy is oxidative stress, which in our traditional language is the ufufu iraere, or the rusting of the cells. When you eat bad sugars, smoke, and breathe the dirty air of the city, unstable oxygen particles attack your testicles, damaging the tails of your seeds so they cannot swim straight. So the rust in the body breaks their tails.
What else makes them lazy, Dibia?
The second great enemy is excess heat. The gods in their infinite wisdom hung a man's testicles in a sack outside his body for a reason. They need to stay cool, 2 degrees cooler than the rest of your blood. But what do you city men do? You wear tight, thick undergarments that trap heat. You sit for hours in hot cars, or you rest hot laptop computers directly on your laps. This bakes the testicles like an oven. A baked testicle cannot produce swimming warriors. It only produces tired, boiled seeds that cannot move.
Hey, I put my hot laptop on my lap every single evening while watching videos. I am literally boiling my own children before they are even born.
You see the ignorance that destroys our people. There are also hidden physical blockages, like a varicocele, which is a swelling of the veins inside the scrotum. It acts like a broken radiator, pooling hot, stagnant blood around the testicles and suffocating the seeds. Infections like untreated STIs, or even ancient cases of mumps from your childhood, can also leave scars in the pipes, slowing the warriors down.
Debia, the damage is heavy, but I know the earth has an answer. What is the remedy? How do we give these lazy swimmers the strength of a shark?
The remedy is to quench the fire of rust and feed the tail of the seed. First, you must cool the basket. Throw away tight underwear. Wear loose boxers and never let heat touch your lap. Second, we use the antioxidants, the rust cleaners of nature. You must eat heavy amounts of vitamin C and E found in local citrus fruits, guavas, and wild berries. Drink the juice of tiger nuts, aya, mixed with dates and ginger daily. This combination floods the testicles with zinc, amino acids, and natural energy that acts like a high-powered engine for the sperm's tail. Add to this maca root if you can find it, and eat plenty of fresh spinach and dark green vegetables for folate, which ensures the seeds are formed with straight tails and strong heads. Go home, Chidi. Clean your lifestyle, cool your body, honor your wife with love, and the gods of our ancestors will fill your quiver with strong, running children. Your stepmother knows nothing about this. Your destiny is in your own hands.
Debia, you have given me the weapons, but a soldier who does not know the days of the week to march will still lose the war. The city is full of chaotic schedules and sudden temptations. Please lay down a weekly routine for me. Map out my days, what I should eat and what I must avoid from Monday to Sunday, the habits I must kill every morning, and the physical movements I must do to keep the river flowing. Give me a code to live by.
A wise man builds a fence before the leopard arrives. Listen to the rhythm of the week. From Monday to Friday, when you are in the city fighting for bread, your morning must begin with water and movement, not the roadside grease. Before you step out of your house, you must perform the warrior's squat. Sink low to the ground as our ancestors did when harvesting, and hold it. Do this 20 times. It forces the blood to rush into your pelvic floor and awakens the commander early in the morning. For breakfast on these working days, banish the white bread and the oily akara. You must take a bowl of boiled, unripe plantain with a light fish pepper soup, heavy on the garlic and ginger. This cleans your pipes while you sit at your desk. In the afternoon, when the city stress comes, you must carry a small container of tiger nuts, dates, and walnuts to chew at your desk. This is your ammunition. For dinner, a light plate of oha or scent, leaf soup with local oatmeal or whole wheat, eaten before the sun goes down completely. Never eat heavy pounded yam at 9 p.m. when you are about to sleep. It turns to sugar and kills the morning stiffness.
This is manageable, Debia. But what about the habits at the office? You said sitting all day is a silent executioner.
Every single hour you sit at that computer, your alarm must ring on your phone. You must stand up, stretch your body like a leopard waking up from sleep, and walk for 5 minutes to let the blood flow back into your lap. Never place the glowing laptop on your skin. Place it on a wooden table. And throughout the week, from Monday to Sunday, the habit of the hand is totally forbidden. If the urge comes when you are lonely, you must immediately drop to the floor and do 20 push-ups until your arms tremble. Divert that creative fire into your muscles, not into the dirt.
I will turn the urge into push-ups, Debia. The hand is now locked. What about the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, when the pressure of work is gone?
The weekend is for the soil and the spirit. On Saturday morning, you must sweat heavily. You must run or lift heavy logs of wood for 30 minutes until your heart beats like a ceremonial drum. This burns away the bad clutterer cholesterol stored during the week. For food on Saturday, feast on local chicken eggs with the yellow yolks intact, roasted plantain, and fresh avocado. In the evening, you must bring out the bitter leaf juice I gave you. Drink 1 horn of it to flush out any hidden toxins. And Sunday is the day of oxytocin. On this day, you must do no work. You must look into your wife's eyes. You must cook a healthy meal of fresh fish and okra together. In the evening, you will lie down together, and you will massage her shoulders and her feet with warm coconut oil without asking for anything in return. You will build the bridge of trust. When she feels safe and your mind is calm, the commander will naturally wake up with the strength of a young lion. This is your weekly covenant, Chidi. Walk this path, and by the 3rd moon, your house will sing a new song.
Dibia, you spoke of the white poison, highly processed sugar, and you mentioned a sickness called the sweet blood, which the city people call diabetes. In my office, almost every young man has a can of cold fizzy drink or an energy drink on his desk by noon to chase away sleep. Even my own cousin was recently told by the hospital that his blood is full of sugar, and now his marriage is cold. Please, how exactly does this sweet blood destroy the commander and cause the rushing? Open this scroll wider for me.
Chidi, sugar is a smooth thief. When our ancestors ate sugar, they chewed the raw cane. The juice was wrapped in thick fiber, so the body took many hours to slowly break it down and use it for energy. But the city sugar you drink from cans is naked and angry. When you pour that cold, sweet liquid down your throat, it rushes into your blood like a broken dam. The high king of the body, the brain, panics and orders the pancreas to release a massive army of a messenger called insulin to quickly gather that sugar and hide it inside your fat cells.
Ah, so insulin is the gatherer. But if it hides the sugar, shouldn't the blood be clean then?
It works for a while, but when you pour that sweet poison into your belly every single day, the cells become tired of the constant knocking. They lock their gates and refuse to let insulin bring any more sugar inside. This is what the white men call insulin resistance. Now, the sugar has nowhere to go. It traps itself inside your blood, turning the river of your life into a thick, sticky syrup. This is the beginning of the sweet blood, diabetes, and this sticky syrup is pure acid to a man's lower chamber.
Sticky syrup? Acid to the lower chamber? Dibia, how does sticky blood affect the stiffness? What does the acid do down there?
Listen carefully, Chidi. For a man to stand like an iron pillar, the tiny nerves down there must send a clear electric spark, and the tiny blood vessels must open instantly to receive the flood of blood. But when your blood is a sticky syrup full of sugar, it slowly eats away the outer coating of those delicate nerves, like termites eating the bark of a tree. The nerves become numb. They lose the ability to feel excitement or transmit the spark. At the same time, the sugar rusts the inner walls of the tiny vessels, making them stiff and narrow. The gates are locked, the wires are cut. That is how diabetes permanently slaughters the erection.
So a man might have the desire in his mind, but because the sugar has eaten his wires, the message never gets down to the river? But what about the rushing Dibia? Why does the sweet blood also make a man finish in a flash?
Because the nerves are damaged and confused by the sugar acid, they lose their control and their timing. A healthy nerve knows how to hold the tension of pleasure until the proper time. But a damaged, diabetic nerve is unstable. It misfires. The moment the slightest warmth or touch hits the manhood, the damaged nerve panics and sends a false emergency signal to the brain, causing an immediate, uncontrollable explosion before the joy even begins. The sweet blood makes you a prisoner of your own malfunctioning body.
This is a terrible demon, Debia. Every day at lunch, I thought I was just taking a harmless sweet drink to get energy for my work. I didn't know I was paying a merchant to slowly cut my own wires and rust my gates. Tell me, Debia, if a man already has this heavy sugar accumulation or the sweet blood, how does he chase it out using the laws of the earth?
To conquer the sweet blood, you must embrace the ultimate bitterness. You must use the bitter melon, Egusi migbilimba, and the leaves of the Gurmar plant, which we call the sugar destroyer. When you drink the juice of these herbs, they go into your belly and block the sugar gates in your intestines, so the sweet poison cannot enter your blood. They also wake up the lazy pancreas to produce clean insulin, and they force the locked cells to open their gates and eat up the floating sugar. You must also combine this with intermittent fasting, eating only within a 6-hour window of the day. When you force your body to go hungry, the engine is forced to burn up the sticky sugar syrup in your blood for fuel, cleaning the pipes completely.